Good morning, America. This is your friend, Dr. Turi. Today we are July 19th, and I have a very, very interesting newsletter for you today, okay? The title is July 25th, 2019, SOS to the World, US-Iran War Warning. Okay, now, yesterday, to those who just jumped in again, who don't read, yesterday in President Trump versus Ilham Omar in Iran, death on the horizon, I shared my warning about the upcoming windows, okay? And this SOS to the world is nasty. It's a plutonic SOS to the world deadly window, which means the best of the best for the reptilians to use and abuse, okay? Right now, we are still into the shocking news and explosion and technology, but that window is melting real fast as we approach the 25th into the deadly plutonic window. So be prepared for really, really disturbing news. Now, yesterday, I also mentioned that I would explain to you why the U.S. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is still the target of President Trump repetitive attack on national TV. So I'm going to give you that example, and I'm going to explain it to you in a way that will make sense to you. However, you're not a student of mine, okay? You did not spend the 6 or 7 hours a day or 7 days with me live in Sedona to master the cosmic code jurisdictions and understand how God speaks through the sign, which I translate for you every day, okay? So I'm going to use very simplistic terms, and I'm going to use visual to help you to understand why she became such an important person in the United States, okay? And of course, why Trump is after her butt, okay? So you'll understand that first of all, people can only react to you because of your education, your intelligence, your experience, and most of all, your UCI or your stars. If you don't have the right stars with somebody, you are not going to agree with that person, and you can stand on your head and you can do anything you want. It ain't gonna work. That's why it'll be practically impossible to change Donald Trump's base, because like him, they have an inner fear of power, an inner fear of foreigners, inner fear of being invaded. This is something that is part of your celestial makeup, okay? And that's why anytime President Trump opens his mouth in the affairs related to Sagittarius, or Jupiter, or the ninth house, which is a codification of thought that regulates foreign affairs, foreign lands, and foreign places, and religion, well, it's going to create trouble. And the trouble is here, believe me. And remember, if you read that newsletter yesterday, years ago, I warned you about the legacy of President Trump because of his stars. Now we have elected him, like the white German people elected Hitler, and you see what happened to the world by giving power to somebody who should not have power. So, but that is what we do nowadays in this age of rational, critical thinking, in this age of technology, in this age of rational. We are not dwelling with the spirit like we used to do during those disappeared civilizations. It's a long story. And so we are here in 2019, and we are completely and entirely ignoring the cosmic code jurisdiction, and that brings a hell of a lot of chaos and a lot of trouble, because the reptilians are using humanity, cosmic ignorance, to stimulate all sorts of negativity, all sorts of fears, all sorts of chaos, which they need in order to survive in dark matter. Make the story simple for you. So I'm going to use Omar. We're going to call her Omar. That doesn't mean I don't respect her, but I'm going to make it easy, okay? And Trump, okay? So look at Omar chart. First of all, she was born in October. Not only was she born in October, but look at this. This is what you call a stellium, a hell of a lot of planets in the sign of Libra. Now, what is Libra? Well, you have two scale. Libra was the law, and you're wondering why she is a lawmaker. It's written in light. Okay, but again, remember, this type of information are not allowed in your college, university, or me as a soul doctor to reach your children and start to give them an understanding of their own cosmic design and purpose imposed by the higher order. They don't want Dr. Turi there. Oh, no, 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 no. His work is pseudoscience. It doesn't work. It's stupidity. It's ignorance. Oh, no, it is not. All right, so in the sign of Libra, you have one side of the scale, which means one side of my hand, the laws written by men, the same laws that you must respect, the same laws that she enforces, okay? Those laws are into the codification of thought, in the books, IRS, DMVs, red light in the street, stop sign in the street, and every single law that you must oblige. If not, you're going to jail or you're going to die. That is one side of the scale, Libra. Okay, and that makes those signs, of course, good in anything to do with psychology, interior designing, and many of them are in the real estate because they have to fit the world, either physically or spiritually. They have to give the law, and anything that involves a lot of contract, is Libra. Okay, we understand that. Okay, Libra, one side of the scale. Now, because you do not see or do not know about the laws of the divine, does not emancipate you for a very heavy penalty, and that's where Dr. Turi is coming from. Teach you the law written light by God himself through his creation, something that I translate via the signs. Okay, now we understand each other. Now, every one of this planet has a very, very important information that I do when I take care of my client through YouTube. No, YouTube, I mean through Zoom, like I'm using now, or any other device, okay? All right, so she was born with Saturn. You see Saturn? Saturn represented the highest point of your chart. Saturn ruled your 10th house, your career and your public standing. Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn. So if you're a Libra or if you're a Capricorn or any other sign for that matter, go to dr.turi.com and look on the top and click on your sign. So this way you digest and you understand the basics of what it means to be a Libra, an Aquarius, or Pisces, or God knows what. I have it in a very, very simplistic way for you to digest and understand. So having Saturn in the sign of Libra, Saturn is giving her even more power, because Saturn is structure, Saturn rules politics, Saturn rules anything and everything that dwells with the building of the higher hierarchy, the king, the queen, those in power, the Illuminati, those who politicians have a very, very strong Saturn in their chart. Okay, and a lot of these people, Libras, also become involved in a different set of laws, religious laws. A lot of Libras are religious fanatics, and so are Capricorn, because Capricorn are controlled by Saturn, which is traditional, and that one makes them different than what we are. Doesn't mean they're stupid, but they are not cosmic conscious. They have no idea. They are just robots, okay, regurgitating, so to speak, the energy of the stars that forces them to do what they do, because there are no accidents. Okay, now, she's got Jupiter in the sign of Libra also, right here. She's got the midheaven. First of all, she's got a sun. She's got Saturn, the midheaven, which is the career area. Then she's got Jupiter, and she's got Pluto. Jupiter is the lord of lack, the lord of expansion. Anyone born in October, you will never have to tell these people to open a book. They do it naturally. They are professional students. In fact, two of my nieces are born in October, and both of them are doctors. Okay, now, and my sisters always tell me, we never told our daughter to open a book. They're a professional student. That's what they do. That's why they get stuck in the codification of thought and forget about the other side of the scale, which is part of their soul's purpose to investigate. But they're not curious enough or lucky enough to land on Dr. Turi and understand their idiosyncrasy or their cosmic design. Then you have Pluto. Pluto, the extraordinarily powerful planet Pluto, okay, which a few years ago, I was fighting with everybody to telling them Pluto is a planet, is not something that you think it is. And then finally, I was proven right because of technology. But man, did had some fight with those idiots out there who thought Pluto was not a planet. It is the farthest and the most powerful planet in our solar system. That's where regeneration, power, drive, investigation comes from. If you do not do what the sign involving Pluto is related, you don't regenerate. In other words, you die. Okay, so having such a powerful Libra energy, it is very easy for you, by guiding you like I would guide any other my student, to understand why Congresswoman Omar is actually a lawmaker. Make sense? It should, if you have a bit of brain. All right, now, the problem now. Well, first look at the head of the dragon and the tail of the dragon. The tail of the dragon is in Capricorn, in her house, in the bottom, where she was born, somewhere out there in Africa. You see the tail of the dragon? Capricorn was politics, and this is exactly what President Trump is using in order to degrade the Congresswomen. But look at the head of the dragon. The head of the dragon is in the career, okay, in the sign of Cancer, in the 10th house, which means that all the people that support her at home will always be there to welcome her, regardless of the attack that she has to suffer every single day because of bully presidents. So understand that when you have the head of the dragon in your 10th house of career, you're going to be propelled to succeed in your career. But sudden enough, the tail is in Capricorn. So she's debt generating because of the Capricorn dragon tail. Her upbringing, the country she comes from, is what it is used. It's a karmic legacy. It's the karmic traumatic energy of the chart that drags her down and diminished her, not only as a human being, but as a congresswoman, which is manipulated, of course, by the reptilians, which have infected President Trump's body, mind, and soul. Because you could see, for someone with such a presence, being the most powerful man on the planet, to attack a congresswoman, it's just unprecedented to me. I don't know about you, but that's what it is. And if you do not agree with me and you think Trump is not a racist, and you don't understand what I'm saying, so you definitely infected. You like it or not, it's a fact you have to accept. All right, now, hey, remember, my work is not remotely related to politics. However, we are talking politics. So I have to translate the stars and involve politics now in what is a very highly spiritual work that many of you may not be allowed or able to assimilate or understand. But I'm doing my best. What else do we have? She has the moon, which is a domestic scenery, okay? In Sagittarius, so she's very blunt. And remember, President Trump has the tail of the dragon in Sagittarius, okay? And that's why he's blunt, and that's why, like her, he could be perceived as the bull in the china shop. I am totally blown away. Years and years ago, I warned you of the effect of electing a president like Trump, born with the tail of the dragon in Sagittarius, that's going to ruin everything about foreigners and foreign affairs and make America very vulnerable to our enemies. For years, yet I'm not allowed a national stage, so a lot of people could reevaluate their vote and apply their will instead of letting their fears and the reptilians manipulating their fears to bring this great country to trash or to very serious dangers. So, wait a minute here. There's more to it. First of all, when this happened, when President Trump decided to pick on her because of his stars, it's all subconscious. Remember, the battle started already into the universal code. And the ramification is the peon, is the robot or human being, which have no cosmic consciousness, walking planet Earth. Okay, I hope you understand the ramification. The war is taking place out there, and that is the result. Okay, now, so when she got attacked, or when he decided to do that, he was on his tail. A moon, which is a home and a family, and the nucleus of our upbringing in Sagittarius, represents exactly the negative cosmic biorism of Congresswoman Elam. Okay, so in other words, Omar was under one of a 2019 negative cosmic biorhythm when the most powerful president, the most powerful man on the planet hit her. That makes sense, full sense, totally logical to any and all of my students who took the time to take my home course, study, digest the 16th city, and use the software, read all my book, took all the exams, and educate themselves and graduate. You did not. So I did my best in a very, very simplistic way. Furthermore, Omar is also under the jurisdiction of the moon. Every single move she makes, she has to know the whereabouts of the moon in the belt of the zodiac. And 99.9% of the people watching me right now have no clue what the hell I'm talking about, because the moon is either for UFO researcher a base for alien, which is totally nonsense, or she's all even make more nonsense. You know, I would strongly recommend you, if you are remotely interested in my work, to learn all about the cosmic code. Just become a VIP. Spend $10, check my work, check our forecast, understand where our closest satellites, which regulate your emotional response to life. That's why she was created. That's why she was brought in the solar system by very strong, intelligent, very sophisticated, for the lack of a word, nuclear explosion coming from the ships of the Draconis when they built the solar system and hired the moon from Jupiter, because Jupiter has a lot of moon. Okay, and Jupiter is called the Great Benefic because of his mass. Okay, he becomes a magnet to any object that could come on Earth and end life as we know it. That's not going to happen because the Draconis thought of it. The biggest, most powerful planet, so to speak, in terms of mass and density, or Jupiter, purpose is to attract those debris. As experienced a few years ago with the Shoemaker comet, if you remember, if you're a kid, you ain't gonna know about that. But all this debris went on the back of Jupiter, not Earth. And one of the reasons why the moon is loaded with crater is because the legacy of all this calculated, sophisticated, again, for a lack of word, nuclear explosion produced by those ships, commanded and directed by the Draconis. Now, do you think you're educated, rational, down-to-earth UFO experts who have names and position in control, who have fed you with all sorts of technology, those guys who have no cosmic consciousness are going to tell you information that I channel from Draco, knowing that 99.9% of them never seen a UFO, again, let alone channeling Draco? You know what? Just giving you a little information here. By the way, the tail of the dragon in Sagittarius was also animals and pets, and that's why Trump doesn't want no pet. He doesn't like animals. And when a human being doesn't like an animal or doesn't want any animals close to him, it's pretty devastating, especially if you read the true mystical purpose of why cats and dogs live with us. Okay, just Google dog and cats and Dr. Turi, or anything else, if you want to find out what it means to be gay. Okay, well, what it means to be gay is a set of stars, okay, more masculine or more feminine in a male or female body. And most of our young mother who have no idea that what they think is a very safe medical, maybe on account of a prescription, would not hurt her. And that's enough to open the door for the reptilians to go and mess up the genes into the womb. And that's what creates all sorts of problems. Okay, before, during, and after gestation, the reptilians will manipulate the genes. They're going to induce autism, Down syndrome, gays and lesbians. Nothing. It has nothing to do with me not respecting those people. They're my friends. They're students. They're clients. They're smart like a razor blade. They're very creative. And they got the same red blood that you have. But they are victimized by something that even science could never get close to. And even those people are wondering, why am I like this? Why? I'm in the body of a man, and I feel like I'm a female, and I'm going to spend $750,000 to cut the wrong equipment because I don't feel right. Do you think they do that just to be happy or to make you happy? It's because that's the way it is. They've been victimized. At least I'm giving this community, LGQD, I'm giving this community the real answers to who they are, and they should be proud of who they are. because it's a lesson they have to learn. Some have been contaminated, so to speak, by the reptilians, and some by the draconis, because in previous past life they were against gay or they were racist, so their karma imposed an abduction either by the reptilians or the draconis. The reptilians is to make sure this becomes totally out of order because gays and lesbians cannot reproduce, and ETs are happy about that, the negative group extraterrestrial, while the draconis are making sure that your karma is being paid. So, there are reasons well above your understanding to what's going on. There is also very deep, deep, deep mystical information to our local solar system. The soul of the cosmos is so crucial, so very important for you to understand. Yet, all that cosmic wisdom was stolen from me when I was a kid. I didn't know better, by Mr. David Icke, who wrote books with my books and reinvent himself with UFOs and with explaining what Saturn is all about or other planet. He got all this from me. Hey, where's justice? There's karma. There's karma. All right, so now that I have bitched long and hard enough, I feel a little bit better. Remember to go and read the newsletter because there is a lot of information. Okay, and again, it's important to remember that people have been so indoctrinated by the very same food, the same thought, the same thing, that it becomes an accepted discipline. Oh, no. This is what it is. That's the devil, or that's science, or whatever it is, okay? And to the point where people are so indoctrinated that it reflects in the news. Look at this. Nebraska woman calls for Spider-Man statue to be taken down over demonic imagery, despite being face-based art object. That tells you the amount of stupidity from that person, unable to recognize the creativity imposed, directed by the draconians into the mind of these artistical people. Instead, she let her fear and indoctrination and religious poisoning, which it all stimulated and created by the reptilians, direct her psyche. An idiot who needs me more than anybody else out there. And you've got millions and billions of people like this who are in their own box, victimized not only by the reptilians, but also by their own UCI, their codification of thought. Their mental process is so limited that they can only read what's in the book, and they are usually very recognizable because they are Bible thrower. They regurgitate the Bible verses at all time, and they become Neptunians. Again, Google Neptunian Dr. Turi or anything and put my name Dr. Turi. You're going to have tons of articles that are still by miracle left on the internet. So you will learn something with me, believe me. At 70 years old, I had time to learn a few things. All right, so let's move on now. I remember the undiluted truth never intended to please anyone, okay? Especially those who are unconscious. And I'm referring, of course, to notorious UFO speakers who have fed you for years with scientific, technological, rational approach to what or who the extraterrestrials are all about. And they did that for years. So here comes Dr. Turi with a different approach to life. Whoa, you're going to have a problem to understand me. So don't reject me. Keep an open mind, okay? They have the money, these people, the celebrity statue. They're on the stage, and they will always control the information. That's the sad reality. See, I have that UFO conference to do on the ship in October, and I really hope you guys are going to come there. Now, there is some very, very famous people there who never seen a UFO, okay? They heard all sorts of story, they read all sorts of story, they watched a bunch of video, and now they are famous UFO investigator, but they have the peseta. So they advertise with the money this conference and make tons of money because all the people are flocking to see that person. And then there is Dr. Turi. Dr. Turi, who is giving you $700, okay, if you join me. And I have like 3 or 4 people already, okay? But that's nothing compare what I could do if I could spend like 5, 10, or $20,000 on the TV or newspaper advertisement like some of those UFO speakers who can afford it do. Okay, so it is, if you help me, if you decide to save $700, let me take care of you and join me in that conference. I'll be so grateful to you, because now you have been part of the solution and you are helping me to go there, because a lot of UFO conference promoters don't like me because they think I'm an egocentric. They think I bash everybody because they have no clue. They never read any of my newsletters. They never watched my YouTube video. They just heard, oh, he's a big egocentric, he hates, and then that's it. And my destiny and reputation has been sealed. And I'm so far from that. I got so much to offer you. And you're not stupid. I know you're not. So please, okay, be part of the solution. Get your free $700 reading. And believe me, if you read some of the feedback that I get on those videos by those who have experienced my work, it's all absolutely wonderful. And of course, I take this opportunity to thank you guys again to give me some beautiful endorsement reflecting the values of my work and my cosmic wisdom. So if you feel that in your heart, in your soul, intuitively that I have something that is very important, please help me to pass on the words. Okay, so if you have a TV show, if you have a radio show, if you are throwing UFO conference out there, just invite me. I'm already booked, but I will find time to do it. And if it's too late, okay, next year is another day. You know what I'm saying? Get me booked for next year before my number is up, because the information I have are very, very important. It's all for your children when you look at it. All right, now, let's see. Now, does fame alone offer the truth as far as UFOs are concerned, or even the integrity of your speaker? Well, knowing they've never seen a UFO, and they gather all the information like you do by listening to other people, and they've been helped by Art Bell or George Norrie and never say thank you. In fact, not thank you, but they just quit. They just run off, because now that this platform has put them in the position of power, well, I make more money, then I don't have to serve you anymore. I'm out of there, I'm making my money. I don't care about what you did for me. So it's important for any of these UFO speakers that are listening to me now, if you have a name, okay, and I know you do, okay, and you've been around, okay, remember to be humble. Because you know it or not, you are under the jurisdiction of both the good and the bad extraterrestrials. And then you might want to learn a few things from me. So once many of you listen and watch my UFO slide presentation, I will make a hell of sense, because I have a lot of visual for you that will help you to digest what those extraterrestrials are all about and what they expect. So their agenda is something you got to know outside of the traditional artificial intelligence and technology and the government conspiracy bull. Okay, so there is things much more important and much deeper, much more spiritual that involve the UFO phenomenon, and there's only one. Then the sad reality is a fact. And I'm not saying this and then you got some trick point of view. There's only one person who can do that. It's those who have cosmic consciousness. And they are my students if they decide to go into that field, and myself. All right. Now, I wrote about fame alone offer you truth and integrity. No, not really, because I expose a lot of talking heads and very famous people, and that got me fired from LinkedIn for years. Even the president of LinkedIn just said to me, "My gosh, Dr. Turi, everybody goes to your page, you read all your stuff." And it's happening again, because I just joined a few weeks ago. By miracle, I was able to bypass those who hate me. Maybe they've been fired over the years, and disappear in the catacomb, and I was able with my new laptop to reintegrate myself. But there is a lot of religious people there, so I don't know how long I'm going to be on LinkedIn again before they manage to fire me. But I have learned my lesson. I'm going to leave Tony Robbins alone. And I'm going to leave all these big guys that spend thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, to advertise their events on LinkedIn. I'm going to leave them alone. So meantime, there is a link. It's called Tony Robbins is Fame and Wisdom. I want you to click on it, and I want you to read that being famous, having a name, doesn't mean that your information or your wisdom is real. Believe me. So have fun by reading this one. And then below that, you have another video on YouTube that I made a few years ago titled Dr. Turi on UFO Facts. So again, take the time to digest my information, because I am not saying, hey, drop all these UFOs researchers, they're all bull. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. This is not my aim, okay? No, those guys have worked many, many years, and the information they have is logical, is rational, it fits you. That's why you join them. That's why you flock around them, because they vibrate at your wisdom, they vibrate at your understanding, they vibrate at your cosmic speed, okay? So I'm not saying drop them and listen only to me because I'm the king. I'm not Trump. Understand me. I have something different. And I am also a scientist. So what really, really offends me is when a UFO promoter says to me, oh, yeah, you're not technical enough, or you're not scientific enough. Or what about Dalton? Oh gosh, his name, when I channel, it's hard for me to go down. Travis Walton, I think, yes. Okay, I met him. Do you think, I don't know, I never heard him or any other UFO speakers speaking, but do you think Travis Walton is talking technology? I don't know, but knowing where he came from, he was abducted by the reptilians. If he talks technology, whoa, something is wrong. I can talk technology too, but I decide not to, because I understand there is much more behind the UFO phenomenon than what those non-cosmic conscious researchers are offering you. I'm offering a very different type of food that challenges you to the extreme. And unless you watch that slide presentation and I go and get you where you are, technologically speaking, and make you aware of what the hell I went through, okay, with all these UFO conferences, these UFOs contact, then maybe you understand me a little bit better. When I was 6 years old, and you see the pictures on my newsletter today, there was no TV, there was no radio, there was nothing to tell me what a gray was all about. So I believe that was the beginning of something that was going to go to take me all my life, okay, with the divine. And then, having a flying saucers 30 feet above my head with my brother, and then dealing with 3 extraterrestrials face to face in the middle of the mountain, in the middle of the night, when my sister was asleep, okay, those men in black, the explanation, the pictures, everything that I have is priceless, because I was there. And bypass already I believe in UFOs. To me, it's real. It's my life. And then being stuck into a flying saucer, watching my own wife, okay, and those extraterrestrials taking the fetus out and watching and witnessing everything, and then explaining to you what the hell I went through myself too, and then before being brought back down to earth. And then the incredible series of orbs in 2012 depicting when Jericho entered my life, which is allowing me to do such a work, and different type of work. It's something you want to pay attention to. Sad enough, I've been cruising the entire world for many, many years. I've been heard by thousands and thousands of people talking about UFO, and now the reptilians are stopping me in 2019 to pass on more of my information because I'm not technology oriented enough? What about the divine purpose? You know, I thought some of the people that I know, I thought they were spiritual. I thought they were highly, highly spiritual and could relate to why I had all those UFOs experience. And not only educate you, but entertain you with the veracity of all that I went through. And for those people to turn me down, to tell you the truth, I'm still in shock. I'm so deceived. I'm so upset. But at the same time, I have to keep my dignity because I understand the power of the reptilians overriding the logic of these people, or the spiritual values, to be more precise, of those people, which I thought myself being spiritual. Well, this is life. So watch that video, okay? And remember, it is not an ego trip. It's much more honest. It's much more dignified than what you could ever perceive. All right, so let's move on to some of the news that are currently taking place. Remember, the quatrain is there, okay? And the obvious keywords are there. So we're still, as I said earlier, into the shocking technology explosion news. The behavior of your president, if that is not shocking, I don't know what is shocking. Use common sense, okay? All that transpiring right now is a prelude to July 25th, SOS to the World Deadly Window, which is probably the best window for the reptilians to hijack a lot of people. So I'm expecting a lot of drama, a lot of death, wake-up calls, dramatic news, the police. And it's already somewhere, somehow, starting with today's news. Now, Iran said it has captured a British oil tanker. I mean, you know, I don't want to mingle politics with the divine because it's just a ramification of a war that's taking place above your head, which you do not know. Maybe it's a good idea that you do not know for the time being. But that's not going to help. That's not going to help President Trump's inborn fear of foreigners and his drive to egocentric drive to rewrite the new contract with Iran. So, you know what? Iran people are like you. They have fears, they have emotion, they have values, but they feel bullied. Do they have the right to feel bullied? Would you? You know, imagine if you were Iranian. Anyway, let's see what we have now. 3,100 prisoners released from jail today. Thank you, President Trump. Okay, now do you think it's an accident for 3,100 crooks to be released in the street because they just smoke pot or they have a little ticket? All the reptilians are so happy. 3,100 of their infected children now back in the street. Oh, many of them are going to be right back. And some of them are going to do a lot of damage before then. Because you like it or not. This is the result of all the big corporations who are making billions of dollars selling or making pot. It's just so deceiving, so amazingly obvious to me that the reptilians are stimulating and manipulating the mind of the president to come up with this type of liberation. This doesn't mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not throwing the water with the baby. This doesn't mean that so many of these people are in jail and don't deserve to be in jail. Okay? But you take it from me, people, the great majority, you know, they have infringed the human laws, and that's why they're in jail, and they should stay in jail. But hey, well, there's too many more coming in, so we have to, you know, vent. You've got to have more room. Brings money. You know, it's a business. Jail is a business, like everything else. Okay, this crazy guy jumps on the plane wings as he's prepared to take off. I mean, if this guy doesn't use drugs, nobody does. My God, imagine the state of mind of somebody jumping on the plane wings and you're scaring the hair out of all the people that are somehow normal inside of the plane. That is not shocking. I don't know what it is. Maybe he had terrorist act in his mind. I have no idea. But it certainly reflects my quatrain and my windows. All right, the bees are dying. Yes, that's a serious wake-up call. You know what? Every year in my little area here in my house, I'm so proud to give my wife those tomatoes that I babies and raise and water every day. This year I had like 5 or 6 plants. We had only 1 tomato that size. That size. My pool is loaded with wasps. They fly all the time, get some water and run off to their nests. But those are the reptilius insectius, okay, the negative insects. And I usually spend my time saving as many bees as possible, like I did the last few years. This year, I only see 1 bee, and it was again a baby bee. I said, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? Well, again, the large corporation have to make money, trying to destroy all the insect or fertilize or God knows what. And there goes the bees. Oh my gosh, when I married my wife 10 years ago, I told her, honey, whatever it is, don't ask me to give you a child. I will not put a child in this planet. Oh, we are kids anyway. But anyway, it's sad. Former NFL lineman and Super Bowl champion dies at 32. Well, he was born May 11, 1987. 1932. So obviously, what happened is, first of all, it is shocking for such a young guy to die at 32. The excuses are endless, heart problems, heat exhaustion, whatever it is. Cancer, I have no idea. What I can tell you is when I look at these stars, today is into one of his negative cosmic biorhythm. And that's what was used by the reptilians to get him out of the way. May God bless his soul. Men drown while saving daughter's life. And I mean, this is happening quite a lot lately. I talk about children. Some of them drop from a building in fire. They get killed. They get saved. And they're going to get this guy give his life to save a child's life. What an honor. What a beautiful soul. Imagine the type of karma this person's going to have in his next life. Not necessarily in this dense physical world. But that is dramatic. That is original. That is mind-boggling. This is shocking. It's life. Titan production shut down after crew death. Well, special effects, obviously. Again, the reptilians will do all they can through special effect technology to induce all sorts of accidents. And you know what? If I could be there, if I knew that person, and I look at this UCI, I said, look, you were, because you're gone now, okay, into one of your 2019 negative cosmic biorhythm. And because you were too busy looking for fame, too busy working, paying your bills, too busy watching TV, fighting with your wife, God knows what. You didn't pay attention to my cosmic work, and you're gone. Are you next? I don't know. You know what? People are playing Russian roulette every day by not wanting to understand God's cosmic design and use it to their advantage. I always said, God created the stars and the heavens for more than the sake of beauty. He gave it to us for interpretation so that we may lead a safer, more productive life. But what do I know? What do the ancient civilizations who use astrology and erected buildings facing very specific constellation knew? Let's laugh at all this. Let's laugh at all this junk. Terrible. Okay, Spanish politician arrested for alleged underground marijuana operation. Again, there you go, the reptilians. You know, the keywords are mansion mob. Okay, and again, you know, all these big deals going on are not going to happen in the small streets in, uh, in some of the U.S. cities that are loaded with crime and gang activity. Oh no, they are in this big mansion by the big guys. These are the one who making the peseta. It's all about greed. They have plenty of money. They have security. They have wife. They have children. Yet the greed is having more money, having more power. That's the greed. Okay, that's what cursed President Trump. Okay, and his family. It's what the reptilians do. There you go. Naturalized U.S. citizen charged with becoming ISIS sniper and weapon instructor. My God. Again, during my window, I mean, I told you, yeah, that is definitely the draconics which are stopping the reptilians at their level. One by one on this dense physical world, all these infected children going to jail or dying, okay? And then another, you know, celestial battle taking place out there above your head. But when you look at it, for somebody who has been in the United States, like I did for many years, which is my home now, to be naturalized, to be proud American, and then from there to become an ISIS sniper and a weapon instructor to destroy this country. Wow. That one needs to be hanged. You bet. But again, you know what? He's a victim. He's a victim of his ignorance, victim of his indoctrination. And he's as good as any Christians out there that are complaining because of the statue that we talked earlier. They're fighting each other in the name of religion. Professor under fire after suggesting U.S. better off with fewer non-white. Again, I told you, you know, the legacy of President Trump is stars. It's already in place and it's nasty and it's going to get so much worse. And I hope to be so wrong. But when is the last time I've been wrong in my predictions? Since 1991 on the Odd Bell. Just Google Dr. Turi Odd Bell. Listen to the guy screaming, "What? Dr. Turi, excuse me? A religious war between the United States and the Middle East?" Yes, sir. 1995. And that was well before all the very famous UFO speaker that you're listening today. You know, the beauty about me, in some ways, without being an egocentric, is that my UFO predictive legacy is undeniable and is very useful. But you're the judge of that. Meghan McCain revealed she suffered a miscarriage. What do you expect? You know, not only her, but imagine all the people that are targeted by President Trump. The yellow, the black, the green. Wow, all these women being depressed, being insecure, being fearful, being such an open door to the reptilians that are there to mess up that fetus. They're going to stop the gestation, or they're going to infect the gestation. They don't want no more human being on this planet. And they start by killing the bees by the billions in the name of greed. And my heart goes to her. But what can I do? Texas rapper TK convicted of murder for his role in a robbery that left a man dead. This kid had fame. He had money. He had it all. But prosecutors said the plan to rob the house was actually the idea of a 15-year-old girl whose friend reached out to TK because she believed he could get guns for the robbery. In other words, this kid was into gang. And again, he was promoted by the reptilians to gain notoriety, like all these very wealthy, very powerful singers and actors that now are launching their pot business. Oh my God, this is crazy, people. This is crazy. A 15-year-old is already infected. So here goes his wake-up call for these kids. Pretty dramatic, okay? And the reptilians who created him, who built him, were knocked down by the draconis. They said, hey, enough of this bull. Get down. You're high stage. You go to jail where you belong. You know what, my dear friend? It's very, very hard not to suffer the effect of the reptilians, because wherever you hear, wherever you look at, and if you're on Facebook, good luck to you, then you're going to start to let your emotions feed all these idiots that cannot understand you or doesn't want to agree with you, cannot agree with you because their UCI is so different than yours. Maybe you should take the time to Google Dr.turi UCI, or maybe click on the many links that I have on those newsletters and start to educate yourself in understanding why people are the way they are and why they are robotically acting out their idiosyncrasy, because they cannot apply the will to control the stars that they inherited karmically. My God. You know, I think 10 years ago or so, George Norrie invited me on this TV show. And I told him we're only 50 years. We only have 50 years. That was 10 years ago. So it's 40 left. We're lucky. The good news is that in September, I'm going to be doing another deal with George and Tom on Coast to Coast. I don't know exactly what they have in mind just yet, but meeting is set. We're going to do that. It's going to be interesting. I'll keep you posted. Okay. By then, I should be able to walk around, hopefully, because right now I took a light painkiller, so I'm able to stay sitting for a while, but couldn't write yesterday. It was too hard. So easy over there with my laptop and my couch, it's easy. But here's a different story, because I have to stay still. I cannot move around too much. Now there is a radio show coming up with Sue, very spiritual lady, Sue Harris, August the 4th, from the UK. I think it's on Blog Talk. I think we're going to be like 3 or 4 hours. So, yeah, you want to mark your calendar and listen to this. Now, again, what I can ask you, my dear friend, is to same old story. If I resonate in your body, in your mind, your soul, if you think my cosmic wisdom is worth it, you show your support. Either become a VIP, join me in my UFO conference in October, show your support. Then just connect with me in Tirana. And then we don't bite, write a few things. In fact, yesterday in my newsletter, or if you go to dr.turi.com and you click on my blog, you're going to have this newsletter that I wrote today, but the one before was written by Tirana, my wife. So it's a different way of expressing the divine. So maybe it's worth it for you to pay attention and read that one too. All right, so, I'm glad I am here to still give you that spiritual food and help you to regenerate in so many, many ways. I'm not sure how long I'm going to do it, but hopefully, God willing, I'll be here again sometimes. Until then, hey, make it a beautiful day. Bye-bye.